is an internal UX design tool that helps teams build consistent interfaces across Google's product. And next we have like ChatGPT and Notion. Since we are familiar with them, I'll move forward with Founders Way AI. Founders Way AI offers AI-powered tools and some mentorship support for early founders. And for Tanka AI is a lightweight AI assistant for solo founders to build their startup ideas. And next we have the affinity mapping. As for the affinity mapping, we have made the map based on like metrics like mentorship access, AI personalization, and what they offer.
After analyzing the competitors, we conducted a secondary research to understand who the target audience is. So for this, we explored 10 key questions to understand these early stage founders and their struggles. This is a whole new project, Deep Vista, for all of us. So we wanted to understand the new landscape. And for that, we did the secondary research to understand who the founder archetypes are, the pain points, the current tools, the market opportunities. From our findings, we matched everything to the hair on fire founders and their immediate needs and urgent challenges, and distilled everything into this affinity mapping, where you see we have 4 quadrants: challenges and mindset, current tools and gaps, market landscape and trends, behavior and journey. A few takeaways was founders struggle with burnout, uncertainty, and fragmented workflows. Generic AI tools are inadequate and also are not tailored for their needs. We also got some compelling statistics here. 1 out of 3 startups fail because of poor product market fit. Yet, most early founders still rely on scattered tools and gut decisions. The next is nearly 89% founders are using some version of GPT, followed by Claude and Llama. And another is not only the founders, but also 9 out of 10 organizations are using AI workflows to stay ahead of their competition. Interestingly, we found first-time founders have 18% of chances of success, while people with previous entrepreneurial success have 30% more chances. And all this helped us shape our initial how might we statement. How might we build an AI workspace that supports early stage founders with limited cross-functional expertise to achieve efficient and tailored outcomes?
So let's get into what we learned from our primary research. Next slide, please. So we spoke to 9 early stage founders, 3 through one-on-one interviews and 6 in a focus group setting, just to understand their pain points, tool usage, and decision-making behavior. Next slide, please. Across participants, 4 clear patterns emerged. First, founders wear too many hats and face decision fatigue. Second, they rely on tools and AI, but feel let down by their limitations. Third, they seek clarity and contextual guidance, not more templates. And lastly, they often miss out on timely, relevant mentorship that they really crave. Next slide, please. So their words say it the best. Go-to-market strategy feels like a black box, tools lack depth, and context is everything to them. Next slide, please. So based on all of these interviews, some of the key insights that we found were they want structure, not noise. They want clarity, not templates. And finally, they want AI that really gets them and not just answers their questions. Handing it over to Shuli.
So to understand the founder mindset, with all the qualitative research we have done till now, we mapped their motivations, pain points, journey, and the value gaps. And then we created an empathy map out of all the synthesis we did to show what these hair on fire founders think, feel, does, see, their pain and gains. From this, which really helped us to shape our value proposition, product value proposition. Here you can see how we have clearly identified the potential users, their wants, needs, and fears, and then it distills into the product's benefits, features, and experience. From all the synthesis, we got like our two personas. Elan Jean, she is an experienced ex-product lead in Google Meta. Now she's starting her own stealth startup in San Francisco. She uses 10 plus tools, and she is also, so Basically, she uses 10 plus tools daily. She needs a unified system and seeks adaptive AI to reduce decision fatigue and boost her speed. And next, we have Arjun Mehta. He is a new grad data scientist turned solo founder in Seattle. Arjun builds quickly but iterates solo. That's a problem. Needing tools for GTM, product validation, user feedback. He struggles with narrative storytelling and positioning.
So this is a quick user journey map that we came up with based on one of our personas, Elaine. And based off of this user journey map, we were able to identify the different opportunities we could take Deep Vista into.
And for our recommendations, next slide. For a word heat map, founders want AI that is smart, personal, makes work easier. That's exactly what Deep Vista AI aims to be. Next.
So finally, based on all the research that we did through the primary and secondary phases, we came up with a more refined how might we, which is how might we design an AI workspace that helps early stage founders make confident, cross-functional decisions faster and with less mental strain.
As for the product approach and for the customer pain point, early solo founders often struggle with products management and to get to market strategy, making it difficult to reach product market fit. And what do we want to do? We can use AI to help founders analyze the market, understand customers, and refine product market to fit faster.
Another product approach, founders struggle to communicate their vision clearly and often get vague feedback. Deep Vista helps by making it easy to craft polished updates, share them, and get actionable input from multiple perspectives.
For our third and the last approach, the problem we found is founders struggle with information overload, decision fatigue, lacking actionable guidance, and need a better phase-specific planner. For this, the solution can be scenario planning, quick iteration, weekly focus tracker to make it more context-aware, insight-driven, and quick and informed.
So this is just a quick mood board that reflects the visual design direction we want to take Deep Vista into, which is the next phase.
Thank you for your time, and the room is open for questions and feedback.
This is really, really good. Just for the sake of time, we'll probably have two coaches go. So I'll let the coaches raise their hand if they want to go. And then I'll share one thought really quickly. Yeah, so if you want to go as a coach, we'll probably have time for two. So this is something for anyone who's listening on the live stream or just another team watching in. I think this team, what they've done really, really well is this is the starting point, right? Every single team started like this with a PRD. But you can see, I would actually say Deep Vista was one of the hardest teams to do research for, right? A lot of you might not know all the context. So this is really, really 0 to 1, right? If you look on this, there's no existing product. There's very, very little to go off of, right? All the examples were found by Hannah, you all were really pitching to the founders to get buy-in. Obviously, your founder is really awesome, and he's led engineering at Google for 15 years. So he's a very technical founder too, which I think helped make these decisions. But I know from the conversations, it sounded a lot of times the founder didn't have a strong opinion on things, right? So I think what y'all did the best here is really able to use all this abundance of information you gathered, right? And really be able to, in such a short time, articulate a very strong direction, right? And I think for anyone listening in right now, that's the biggest takeaway I want everyone to think of having good research. Now, of course, there's things that all of you can improve. I'll offer a few suggestions too. But the most valuable thing for good research, especially when more experienced design leads or managers or directors listen to a presentation, is is the research actually good, right? And that is done not by saying I followed the design process. It's does the insight actually make sense? Is it actually valuable, right? So if you go through the process, but then your insight itself isn't very sharp, then it just feels like a lot of busy work. And then from a presentation perspective, they might just end up feeling like you didn't present it well, when sometimes, it could be just you didn't get any good insight. So again, I feel huge props to Hannah, Jackie, and the whole team. But this was done really, really well. And I think just a very strong example to start off of. The only quick feedback I'll give is I think this deck is super good for a like a read deck. So if you're sending this to Jing or the founding team, this is very good because they can read and digest it themselves. For presentation purpose, y'all did very good on timing. It was about 6 minutes. Very good amount of time. If it was a little bit longer, you would probably see people start to lose their attention. So very good on timing. But there are definitely a lot of slides where there's too much text. When you're designing the slide, there's two types of slides that you should be aware of. A slide like this, you can put as much text as you want. That's fine. Because this type of slide, you're just trying to show your process, or you're just trying to show you got a lot of pull quotes. And this is super strong. Like this is the strongest moment when you do research, right? Any sort of design presentation, this gets a lot of buy-in. But there are probably also slides where you want people to actually read, which are slides like these, right? So this is, again, a good slide because it's minimal text, easy to read. But there are some slides that kind of feel in between. So like, I'm not sure if this is a slide you actually want me to read or you don't want me to read, right? So for actual presentations, I think some of the visual elements can be simplified a bit more. But overall, like very, very strong presentation. So really good work. Super impressed. Like this is one of the strongest I've ever seen. Okay, yeah, Johnny, go ahead.
I think Kathy probably raised her hand first, right?
Oh yeah, whoever raised their hand first.
Oh, yeah, I can go. I first really like that you guys share the visual direction at the end. I think designers have the unique superpower of visuals and grabbing people's attention. So I think that gets people really excited. So I don't know if you showed this to your founder yet, but I'm sure they'll be really excited to see it. And then two, to echo what Leon was saying, lead with insight. I'm going to be honest, brutally honest. I don't really care about the fact that you did a competitive analysis or that there's a table on the slide. Like, don't introduce what's on the slide. Like, I can see that you did competitive analysis. So you don't need to say like, oh, we have some good stats here, or here's an affinity map. Like, what I care about as a stakeholder is I care about like the really interesting takeaways. Like, there was one where it's like Tonka is really strong in preserving contextual memory. Like, that's interesting, right? So like, lead with that. And then, yeah, like with the some slides, there's just like a lot of text. So as a result, I didn't actually read anything. I actually am kind of going to go against Leon here with the quote slide. I thought it was really good, but I wish you had focused more on like one quote and then like maybe blurred stuff out. Because as a result, like I just didn't end up really reading anything, even though I'm sure that would have been a really effective slide. And then, yeah, as a note to that, I expect that as a designer, you're able to ruthlessly prioritize and like present really simply. So I think for the most part, you did a great job there. But there's some slides that I would just like maybe pass through ChatGPT or just do another run through of. But yeah, great job.
Thank you. It was really helpful, and we'll make the changes moving forward.
Cool. I'll go next. First of all, I want to say, I thought the narrative was excellent. It was very tight, like everything flowed very well. And then number two, what I thought was quite strong was you guys present a lot of the ideas on your slide in a visual sense, right? Like the visuals really reinforce what you're trying to say. So I thought that was excellent. Couple of things. Number one, I know there's a lot of folks already said things about a lot of text on the screen. There were a few slides that specifically jumped out at me. It's like, if you want to use text, be careful about the different colors that you're using, right? You probably want to use certain colors to emphasize certain points, but I would try to limit those to maybe just one, at most two different colors. When you have a lot of different colors, sometimes it could actually distract the users. One of the things that I told my last cohort that was helpful is when you look at a slide, you can do a squint test. So you look at the slide and you squint, right? And you see what's something that jumps out at you. Those are usually the information that would be the things that's pulling the user's attention. So I think it was specifically like the purpose slides and then the repurpose slides. Yeah, I'll go to those really quick. Yeah, these ones. So if you kind of look at it, there's a lot of things that's pulling my attention in all different directions. In fact, if you do that, I think it scatters what you're actually trying to communicate. Typographically, something like this, I would say maybe use like at most two different kinds of, text decorations, right? Between like, and I'm talking about text decorations that's between like font sizes, or like if you want to use italicizing or font weight or color, all these things, just use 2 different variances and it would really pop the information that you're trying to communicate out. Otherwise, yeah, the other thing that I would say is maybe I missed this, but it might be helpful to state that this is 0 to 1 project upfront. I think that really sets a context to the amount of research that you all did and the insights that comes. I think somebody typed that in the chat halfway through. It was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, and why, like, the direction goes from very exploratory research. Otherwise, I think you guys did a great job. Yeah, one of the strongest decks I've seen.
Yeah, very good. Just time check. So we'll move forward.
Thank you.
Great work, team. Yes, great work. Okay, whatever the presentation order was, can we have the next team share? And as a rule of thumb for product presentations, if you're getting majority visual feedback, your content is very good. If people are confusing about what you're even trying to talk about, that's a big problem. So yeah, and for the coaches, what Kathy did was also really good too. If you have like a differing opinion or a different take on things, right? Like if I like the pull quote slide, Kathy prefers her pull quotes like more highlighted. Definitely call those out. So offer second opinions. And I think Johnny's one was also really sharp, other than the visual one, calling out the 0 to 1. So yeah, we'll have 2 coaches raise their hands after this is done too. So yeah, feel free to start.
Okay, we'll get started. Hi, we're Team Aya, and today we're happy to share some of the research we'll be delving into for the past 3 weeks. Next. We'll start by introducing our client, Aya, and the users we're designing for. Then we'll walk through some key takeaways from the research and wrap up with next steps. Next. Before we jump in, let me introduce our team. We're a team of 6. We have Asher, Amenze, Dora, Esther, Flo, and Sebastian on the team, leading by Coach Johnny. Next slide. Next one. So, Aya is a part of YC's the Winter 2024 cohort. Next one. Aya helps designers to create and publish polished production-ready designs. Next slide. Aya's mission is to empower product thinkers to build directly without writing code, without taking away also the creative control. So this is a snapshot of Ion's interface. It is a space where designers or product builders can create and collaborate freely with AI all in real time. Next slide. So to better understand the market landscape and about our users, we use a mix of research methods with the goal of, next one, identify the common obstacles that users face, explore how different design tools are actually used in real life, and understand the dynamics of team collaboration. Next one. So we chatted with prospective users from tech, healthcare, e-commerce. Next one. Reach out to design communities about their attitude regards designs. Next one. And synthesize out our findings through affinity mapping. And I'll pass it to my teammate Sebastian to walk through the insights.
All right, so we're gonna hop into the research insights. Next slide. Based on our research, we found that there was 2 different types of users we'd be focusing on. Founders and product designers at early stage startups who have these core things they kind of focus on, which is value, speed over consistency. Fewer stakeholders, work solo or directly with engineers. And then the other one were product designers at mid-sized companies. They value consistency in brand position, more stakeholders, and have mature design workflow. Next one. So for us, especially for Ian, what we feel is what we're going to focus on a lot going forward are the founders and product designers at early stage startups. Next. We found that they have some overarching wants and needs, which include dev-ready components, scalable patterns, production-ready prototypes, confidence in design output, clear usage guidelines, as well as faster design workflows. Next one. Now we're going to go into the journey map. Our journey map specifically has 3 parts, which is the preparation, designing, testing, and dev handoff. Next one. So where IAM really comes into place is kind of just a whole design process from designing to dev handoff. Ion really can help alleviate a lot of pain points that a lot of designers have with getting their designs into production ready products. Next one. So with that noted, we went into a product audit as well as auditing other competitors. What we found when we cross-examined Ion's key competitors in its field, we found that Ion holds a really unique position, which is offering a strong dev handoff and async collaboration features, which is something a lot of these other tools have shortcomings in. Next one. We came up with a user problem after looking at all these AI tools, which was that lack of context creates high frictions for people using AI tools. Next one. We came up with 4 different research insights that we came out of. The first one is designers want to have creative control. However, these AI tools don't quite understand their context, which leads to a high drop-off rate for people using AI tools. Next one. Because of the limited context, it creates a hard working environment between AI and designers to be able to work effectively. Next one. The second one is we found that designers and startups use AI to move fast, while in big tech, they want AI to play by their rules. Next one. Which causes an issue with AI because they create designs that are hard to edit, and especially when you're dealing with design systems and a lot of pre-built mature design flows, and it's hard to have them output consistent designs to kind of go into these production-ready products easily. Next one. Our third insight is that, as a lot of you can probably know, a lot of people don't trust AI to do visual design. Next one. Here's some kind of evidence that we got from surveys that we sent out to people. They mostly use AI for copywriting, idea brainstorming. They tend not to really trust them to do visual design, or at least not fully to put it inside their workflow. And another big issue that this leads into is that they have a hard time communicating with the AI tool. It's almost as if they have to learn how to communicate to the AI tool instead of the other way around. So it becomes frustrating for them a lot of the time. Next one. The fourth insight is that there's no gold standard for the design dev handoffs. There's always a constant back and forth that creates a lot of frustration on both sides. Next one. And because of this, there's kind of a lack of guidance, right? When they're creating designs and sending it out to devs, it's kind of hard to really get these designs shipped out. So next one. Now we're going to go into next steps. Next one. Here we have our timelines. So right now we are finishing up research. We did the market research user interviews, wrapping up the research, and what we're going into next is ideation, where we're planning and brainstorming. We're creating mid-fives for 2 features that we're going to focus on Ion, and then after that we'll meet up with the founder and then eventually go into the third feature, which is a more open-ended, ambiguous feature called canvas mode, which is where we really feel like Ion can really shine and make a big difference in the space. All right, next one. All right, so that's the presentation. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to us.
Very, very good. Can we have a few coaches raise their hands and line up? I'll share a quick feedback first. I think a few other folks may have noticed this. Was there a reason why, when all of you were presenting, there's a huge emphasis of saying next one at the end of every single slide? Like, I think both Dora and every person was like, next. So who was controlling the slide? Was it Min, or who was controlling?
No, we had someone else from our group doing it because we have presenter notes.
I see it. Okay.
Yeah, it's just, we thought it would be easier. I mean, it is kind of awkward saying next slides, but
yeah. So I think that was the biggest feedback. It was happening a little bit too frequently to be hard to notice But other than that, that's good. I'll teach you all a trick. This is a trick I do. I mean, these situations don't happen a lot, right? But one trick can be like if your team like already planned ahead. And I think the deck you all built is very like Johnny and very story heavy. Like that's how I build my decks. Very simple, one idea per slide. So it looks very good. It's very strong. But when you have to do a lot of next, it breaks up the tempo. So a trick you can use, I don't know if you can see my camera, but if the person pins you, so like let's say you're presenting, Flo is the one controlling the slide, Flo pins you, you can just have a hand gesture. Like if you wave your hand, it means you're ready for the next slide. So that's what I recommend. Yeah, I like all of y'all nodding your hand. That's my secret trick. So yeah,
That's a
now.
neat trick.
Yeah. All right. Did anyone want to go? Any of the coaches want to share feedback? We can try to do at least one other feedback. Yeah. If no one wanted to go, let's try to. Okay, Kathy. Let's have you go, and then in the next round, if you're a coach and you know you want to go, just raise your hand. Like at the very end, so we have at least two. But yeah, thanks, Kathy.
Okay. So first thing I noticed, the team size. Team size is good, but I'd save it for the end. I feel like the first thing that you talk about is like prime real estate, because that's when you have everybody's attention. Put that at the end, unless there's something absolutely spectacular about the team that you want to point out. I think you guys did a really good job explaining what ION is. Like I got it right off the bat. I think the thing that a lot of designers fall into is they don't properly explain what they're working on, and then like as soon as the person who's watching you doesn't understand, like you're done. Like they're not going to understand the rest of the presentation. So you guys did a really good job with that. I also really like that you specified different personas. It showed that you considered like multiple like expirations, but you chose one and chose to focus on one. I think that's the difference between a junior and a senior designer. Like a junior designer just goes for the obvious, right? And doesn't really consider other options. But senior designers like consider all options and then methodically chooses one. So that was good. I think great use of color and typography, like Leon mentioned. You guys talked about context, like establishing context. That was one of your main themes. I wasn't totally, like, I think as the target user of something like this, I understood, but I think it would have been helpful to explain, like, what do you actually mean by context? So give more context for context. And then also, I think at the end, you guys did back up your insights with user quotes, but it would have been nice for the first two to there's nothing that replaces like actually seeing a user talk about something, right? So I think it would have been nice to like back it up with evidence or like a screenshot or something for the first two insights. That's my feedback.
Let's have the next team pull up their slide. As Johnny, you can share a quick comment, because I know Ion was your own team.
Yeah. Just if no other coach wants to say anything. First of all, yeah, the team did a great job. They put a lot of time into putting this together. I want to echo off one of Kathy's point about providing context on context. I know there are the slides that talks about the user journey. I think it would be great if we actually walk through that user journey. So everybody who's in the audience, they may or may not have the context of what this kind of journey that a designer goes through between PMs and engineers and other stakeholders. If we can tell that story, I think that would provide a lot more context of, this, make the story a lot more relatable, and then the problem that we're solving. So yeah, just quick feedback on the narrative.
Thank you, Johnny and Kathy. Okay, we'll have the next A16Z team go.
Hi, everyone. We're excited to share what we've been, working on over the past few weeks. So our focus has been on improving a key moment in a mobile app called Monster Walk. Specifically, what happens when players return to the app after walking in real time. Next slide. This is our team. We have Jenny and Victoria as our mentors, and they've been really great. Thank you, Jenny and Victoria. And a big thanks to Jenny Zhu, our CEO, for sharing early insights and helping us shape this direction with, clarity and purpose. Next slide. And for some quick context with the app, if you're not familiar, Monster Walk is a gamified fitness app made by Talofa Games. Basically, the more you walk, the more stamina you earn. So you use the stamina to explore the map, collect resources, and sometimes run into monsters. And when that happens, you can either battle them or chase them by walking more. And by doing that, you're actually setting them free and welcoming them into your squad. And if you run out of stamina, you can just keep walking. The app updates in real time, so your steps keep turning into progress. At its core, it's all about making walking feel fun, rewarding, and just a little bit magical. And next slide, please. So our research is guided by this core objective to ensure the welcome back experience feels clear, motivating, and habit forming, turning passive moments into intentional ones. Next slide. So we're currently narrowing in on the welcome back flow. This is currently the beta flow. So players launch the app, see the branding screen, swipe through a few intro slides where they explain how stamina is converted, steps is converted to stamina, and then they can tap on a call to action, in this case, play now button, and then land on welcome back panel and finally claim their stamina. So we're not including screenshots of the beta here out of respect for the development phase. And here's the thing, it doesn't feel like a moment. One user said it just feels like another loading screen. And another said, I claimed something, but it didn't feel like a moment. So the structure is there, but the emotional payoff isn't. So there's no build or excitement around it. So that's what we are focusing on.
Hi, I'm Ali, and I'll be walking through some of our research stages that helped us better understand Monster Walk users and identify ways to improve their experience. This is a roadmap of our research stages that we will be discussing in the presentation. We began with competitive analysis, where we looked at 10 apps similar to Monster Walk. After that, we conducted a comprehensive audit of the entire app. And then we looked at past research that the Talofa Games team kindly provided, including surveys of power users. And lastly, we designed our own generative surveys, one for beta testers and one for general users of similar apps. Diving into our competitive analysis, our goals were to identify 10 apps that incorporate gamification and/or health and wellness. We also wanted to understand how these apps design their welcome back panel to encourage and excite users. Some observations made from this analysis is that these apps often use encouraging text, visualize progress in some way through bars or graphs or even streaks, and they all frame progress in a meaningful way. Next, we conducted a holistic audit of the game to contextualize the welcome back panel and how users feel when playing the game overall. We conducted audits on both versions of the game, the beta one and the live version, and the welcome back really stood out because of its potential for impact in creating this rewarding and exciting experience. Ultimately, through applying what we learned from the competitive analysis and understanding the app as a whole, we found some opportunities to craft a more clear and rewarding return experience. First, the current welcome back panel doesn't bring the excitement and storytelling from the rest of the game, and the visuals could feel more juicy and rewarding. We would love to bring in some animations, feedback, and celebratory messaging to create a more meaningful moment. We also realized there's opportunity to bring more clarity to the stamina cap and the step to stamina conversion, which could help users engage more smoothly and stay immersed in the progress and excitement of this moment.
All right, thank you so much. And now we're going to jump into the user insights. So this is the insight that we gathered from 2 different surveys. Next slide, please. So the big question we're answering is, so what motivates users to return to a game daily or long-term? And so my team found 3 motivators gathered from the 2 surveys that we conducted. And that is 1, that daily rewards and streaks drive habitual app use. Number 2 is that progress trackers and celebrations increase engagement. And number 3 is clear mechanics around step conversion are important to build trust with the users. And so next, please. In the usability audit, we will explore the we will explore usability audit. So yeah, we reviewed 6 recorded user testing sessions where users interacted with Monster Walk in real time. Now, we found 3 different key observations. One was strengths. Users consistently praised the game's visual style, sense of progression, and how real-time step updates make their movement feel meaningful and rewarding. Number 2, pain points. The welcome back screen urgently needs a redesign to clearly communicate step to stamina conversion, highlight rewards and caps, and deliver personalized celebratory feedback to boost user clarity, trust, and engagement. So number 3, last is user needs. User needs a clearer onboarding, rewarding feedback, and engaging visuals to stay motivated and connected. And in the screens, you can see how we will be improving those in the next slides.
What's next? After understanding where the welcome back experience falls short through different research phases, we started thinking beyond fixes and towards moments that feel meaningful. Next slide. Our guiding question became, how might we use the returning moment to reinforce a habit loop that feels emotionally, narratively, and ethically significant? Not just how the feature works, but how it makes players feel. Next slide. So this led us to 4 key priorities: clarity, so users understand what their steps mean, and narrative continuity to tie gameplay into something ongoing, and emotional payoff to make returning feel good, and also customization, so players feel in control of their experience. Next slide. So ultimately, we're not just designing a welcome back screen. We're designing moments that acknowledges effort, rewards curiosity, and invites players to come back, not out of obligation, but out because it feels good. And by centering empathy in our decisions, we are creating a space for a more meaningful connection between players and the game. And we've begun ideating based on our research, shared a few early themes with the founder, and we are excited to keep building forward and keep building towards something players will genuinely look forward to. Yeah, and then thank you. We are open to any questions, thoughts, or feedback.
Very good. Just for the sake of time, we'll probably only do 1 feedback per coach. And then for the coaches that have extra feedback, please share it to them in the everyone channel. I think they'll really appreciate it. And also, like, if you're just a team lead from another team or just a member from another team too, if you really like anyone's work, either say it in the chat. Yeah, if it's a live product, people want to try it, definitely let them know. Yeah, and I think one thing I'll say really quickly is just, I think some of you were a little bit nervous in the presentation, but overall you did really good. Like, didn't have to be nervous, and always like fake it till you make it. So even if you have no idea what you're talking about, no one really knows what you're going to talk about either. So even like, let's say your speaker note is completely on the raw side or whatever, it's totally fine. So definitely don't be nervous. And a fun thing I noticed was, Christine, your mic sounded super high quality. Was it just the default mic, or did you have a mic set up?
No, it's just my computer, my laptop. Yeah.
Okay, it might have just been your voice then. Yeah, for when you presented, the audio quality was so high, it felt like a different microphone. But yeah, very good job presenting. And yeah, I think Christine was a good example. I think there was a slide she messed up, but she just laughed. So it's totally fine. Like, if you're an interviewer, you see that, like, that's a really good sign. Like, they're not nervous. So yeah, if you mess up, just laugh. That's fine. Okay, Hannah, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, really great job. I want to say something like that I feel really impressed me. At the very beginning, I like the way that how you present the current flow analysis and add your direct quote right on it. I think that's really impressive. And I like the way that's very straightforward. I can quickly get how you think about that, how's your research attached to this specific area. And other than that, I like your matrix for competitive analysis. That's pretty clear. Also because this project is really straightforward and easy for audience to understand. I think that way is really good and visualized all of your findings really quick for this short presentation. And also for auditing part, I like the way that's being very structured. Yeah, and all your storytelling is really easy to digest. Each page only has one purpose. That's something like I highlighted a lot to all of the groups. Something that I personally have some suggestion is like, since it's a working app and you already have the beta version of it, right? So to make it more easy to resonate with your audience, maybe you can share some like GIF or short videos of your app at the very beginning, so we can quickly get it how that looks like currently, instead of saying like looking at your current flow. And then you're mentioning like your game hook system, the habiting loop, that's all really good. Something that I'm curious about, like, have you done like enough primary research for your research phase? If yes, then I'm interested in like your target audience, your user personas, like what is the demographic data that you are talking about here for all of your findings and takeaways? That's the part I'm most interested in. Maybe we can add more on that. Other than that, I think it's really good. Yeah, great job.
Yeah, great work. And I think you all probably have an answer for that question. I'll let you all just talk about it async. So next team. Yeah, great job, Jenny and Victoria as well. This was a very different and fun project, so very nice to see. Yeah. Okay. Do we remember the order? Which team is next?
Yeah, Reshape is next. Emily, are you able to share? Mine's not allowing me to share.
Okay, I can try.
If you can help, Min can maybe share the screen too.
Yeah, if Ming can share the screen, that would be great. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is something wobbly, so it might shut down. So.
Okay, Min, are you able to share?
Oh, wait, I think I might. Okay, never mind. I got it. Just go for
yeah. All right, go for it, Michael.
Okay.
We can see it.
Sweet. Okay, so this is Reshape. Violet, if you want to start this off.
So hello everyone, we are Team Reshape. And next slide. Here's our team, Michael and Emily and Violetta, and Amy is our coach. Next slide. We're gonna cover 4 parts today in our presentation. Now let's move on to the first part, the project contest. Next slide. Yeah. Reshape is an AI-powered fitness and health tracking app focused on body transformation, weight loss, habit formation, health management. Next slide. Here's the problem we are focused on. People struggle to stick to fitness plan due to lack of personalization, accountability, and friction in logging progress. As a result, users quickly lost interest. This leads to low engagement and poor retention, especially since most apps are either too generic or too manual. Next slide. Based on the problem, we formed our initial how might we statement. How might we design a health coaching experience that feels effortless to track and reliable enough to trust, using personalization and gamification to keep users motivated long-term. Next slide. From a design perspective, we aim to redesign key parts of the user experience, specifically the onboarding, user activation, first week setup, and basic app setup experience. We also plan to include new features, which are Reshape social and health, and gamification elements. On the business side, our targets are increase the percentage of day 1 and day 7 user retention and get 1,000 paying subscribers in the next quarter. One big challenge is that our design decisions directly impact business performance. So we need to make sure that everything we create not only looks good, but also drives engagement and retention. Another challenge is time. We have a lot to complete with a tight timeline, so we need to prioritize effectively and move quickly. And finally, the UI of the app is consistently being updated for internal team while we work on provided redesign and new features, which means we have to keep updating our design aligned with the new features and the evolving user needs. Now let's talk about the research approach and insights. Our primary user target audience include business professionals and early career individuals. And second user group include women post-pregnancy and people frustrated with traditional diets that are not sustainable, and also gym goers seeking structured nutrition and workout plans. For the research, we choose to conduct the competitive analysis and user surveys and user interviews. Now let's talk about the insights of each research.
Yeah, so to understand the current market and identify opportunities, we began secondary research with competitive analysis. In collaboration with our founder, we identified a list of direct and indirect competitors, considering the existing and planned features. The following are Cal.ai, helps users track calorie intake by analyzing photos. MyFitnessPal helps users track food, exercise, and weight. Noom, a psychology-based weight loss program. Healthify provides personalized nutrition. And then the indirects are Aura, a smart ring app that tracks activity. Fitbit, a smartwatch app that tracks and analyzes some metrics. Strava, fitness tracking for like athletes. And then Flow, female health tracking. And then so we conducted a comprehensive competitive analysis that included SWOT, UI audit, heuristic, and journey maps for each app. The SWOT helped us analyze strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of competitor apps to best see where we can improve Reshape based on what others are doing or not doing well. We conducted UI audit to see what worked well with the competitors in their designs, and that can directly inform our redesign. And then we performed heuristic evaluation on competitor apps to identify usability issues that can help guide our own development on redesigning. And then user journeys that helped identify our target audience and how they would use competitor apps and their pain points to help also identify ways we can improve. So our competitor strengths, based off affinity mapping, we identified several key strengths across our competitors that aligned with our research goals. First was aesthetic and layout. A significant number of competitors excelled in their visual appeal. They consistently have clean layouts with cohesive color schemes, homepages that effectively display crucial information up front, and recognizable icons. They also were strong, and a couple were strong in gamification, such as like realistic badge achievements that can drive user engagement, or offering unique rewards for challenges and activities, and even leaderboards to help healthy competition. And then finally, another strength was social that we found in a couple competitors that helped users engage with messages, posts, comments, forms, and other means of interacting that could help create a strong sense of community. So now turning to some key weaknesses, these will also help present opportunities for our own product to grow. Firstly was onboarding. Many competitors feature lengthy onboarding processes that could stretch over 30 pages and could add frustration and even have unskippable steps. The pro versions of some apps were frustrating with users because of limiting features or pop-ups that would be distracting to users. And then lastly, we identified a few AI concerns that some feedback from AI could be frequently underwhelming or inaccurate, or it might unrecognize how food is taken pictures of and might get protein or calorie content wrong. So that could frustrate some users. So from the competitive audit, some key insights that can present opportunities for us. One major recommendation would be to refine the home screen to create a clean and visually appealing aesthetic that would help boost retention. Add gamification elements that can significantly enhance engagement with health and fitness. Create a social aspect, either private or public, to foster a sense of community. Shortening the onboarding process, either like combining steps or allowing users to skip to improve their retention. And then building trust with AI features that could be offer notes or references from what AI gives the users. So and we'll continue with user surveys.
Yeah, next page, please. So to better understand how to boost engagement and retain users, we conducted a survey to uncover their needs, behaviors, and expectations. We distributed an online survey to existing and potential users of fitness and wellness apps. And the main goals were to gather quantitative insight into what users expect from the home screen, how they interact with login tools and the AI coach, and how they feel about potential new features. Next, please. We gathered responses from 49 participants, with the majority between 25 to 34 years old. Most respondents reported that have a full-time job, mostly work out 2 to 3 times a week, and primarily at commercial gyms. In terms of their main goals of doing workout, the participants mostly aim to gain muscle, lose weight, and learn more about their personal health habits. After analyzing the data and short responses from participants, we gathered our 4 key insights from this survey. The first one is clear and motivational home experience. Users need clear, intuitive personal information and motivational elements on their first screen they see. Second, users value efficiency and encouragement throughout the meal logging journey. They prefer to use photo input and appreciate friendly nudges as daily reminders. Third, users expect a personalized and supportive AI coach to provide instant, personalized, and actionable workout suggestions and plans. The last insight is that community engagement should be privacy conscious. Where some users seek motivation through community, many prefer to keep their journey private due to personal information concerns. So social features should be optional and respect individual privacy. And now I'll hand over to Emily to talk about user interviews.
Thank you, Anne. So for our user interviews, to get deeper insights, we conducted interviews with 8 participants recruited inside and outside our survey. These interviewees align perfectly with Reshape's key personas as a mix of college students and working professionals in their 20s and 30s. So next slide. Across all interviews, a powerful theme emerged. Users are motivated by the need for 2 things. First is personalized guidance and consistent progress tracking. This is a key opportunity as Reshape is a direct solution, offering both custom-fit plans via the AI field chat and low-friction meal logging, either by AI scanning photo, text, or voice for easy tracking. Next slide. So our goal for these interviews was to understand the why behind our survey data and uncover the deep user needs that will inform our redesign. We use a hybrid methodology, conducting 30 to 40 minutes moderated remote sessions. So each session was split into 2 parts. We begin with discovery, asking open-ended questions about habits and pain points. And then we transition into a more concept review where the moderators share their screen or show recording of key flows like home screen, meal logging, workout. And then we gather direct feedback on participants' first impression, what they like, and areas of improvement. So our research revealed 3 critical insights for the Reshape app. First, the home screen is overwhelming and fails to prioritize what users value most. So user told us the information hierarchy feels wrong, and they want to see key daily metrics like nutrition and calories at the top, not less frequent items like weigh-in reminders. Next slide. So second, users want more than just a data logging tool. They need a coach that interprets the data and provides more of a tailored guidance. Like generic tracking alone doesn't meet their expectations. To be seen as a true coach, the AI must translate those data into actionable plans that adapt to a user's unique lifestyle and goals. So third, users want a dual reward system to stay motivated. For daily consistency, they want immediate digital rewards like fun, visual animation, or title or badges. And for major achievements, they're highly motivated by tangible, collectible items, with one user noting that many people join just to collect and like a real badge. So this gives us a clear opportunity to drive like more long-term engagement by offering both digital celebrations and unique collectible rewards. So we have redefined our how might we statements based off our research insights. Next slide. So one focus on users' engagement, on how might we redesign the home screen to provide a more clear, visually motivating summary of the user's daily progress. Next slide. The second one would be for user retention, how might we use hyper-personalized AI action plans and multi-layer reward system to build a more long-term habits and keep users invested in their journey? Next slide. So for our next steps, our team will hold a brainstorming session, normally like affinity mapping by quotes and then to theme to help with generating a wide range of solutions and features ideas that directly address the user needs and from our research insights. Next, we'll then collaborate closely with the founder to provide these concepts and ensuring we focus on solutions that provide the most value to a user and also align with our business goals. And finally, once our priorities are set, we will begin design phase by sketching and wireframing the initial screens for the user flows. Thank you for listening.
Okay.
We're open for questions.
Yeah, Jenny, I know originally I said we could share some feedback, but the presentation was a bit long and a little bit over time. So we can do some feedback in the chat, and then let's have the last team, I believe, present. So we should have one more team. But very good work.
Yeah, I believe we have two. My worker AI is right now, and then next is Socialite.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Santiago, feel free to share your team.
Okay. 1 second.
Yeah, I want to second Kathy's point too. For Reshape, y'all did crazy amount of work and huge props. I know one of your teammates had to drop, so yeah, this is a lot of work. And Hannah, I know you were doing some extra workshops with them, so Amy isn't here, but huge props to your help as well. But yeah, very good work. Okay. Yeah, super impressive. I agree. Okay. I think we're ready to start, so go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna pass it off to Lana to start, and then I'm gonna end off. So Lana, whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, I'm Lana and I'm part of the My Worker AI team, and we'll go over like the research that we've done so far and yeah, just our progress within this research phase. So let's go over the team really quickly. So our coach is Namita and Leon, and Santiago will be helping with the second half of this presentation, and he's also the research lead. And then Mahima, Atisha, Sam, and Jasvian. And so for our agenda for today, we'll cover the project background, competitor analysis, white paper research, user interviews, persona and journey map, as well as our approach. So for some context, My Worker AI is a company building digital teammates. They've created an AI-powered platform which is designed to help founders and sales teams work more efficiently by automating various tasks like lead generation and email management. So founders are the ideal customer for My Worker AI because they're the company's most authentic salesperson and know the company like the back of their hand. And they're really overwhelmed by manual tasks and have very limited time. And they have a critical need for a solution that automates mechanics while amplifying their unique voice. So what My Worker AI is already solving is this issue of manual outbound. It's super time consuming, generic, and low yield. And they have this AI sales agent named Alex that runs cold outreach with context, speed, and personalization. And it builds custom ICPs using AI-driven Q&A and website data. And it also finds and filters leads based on buyer signals. So our team now is helping out with building an AI avatar that greets, qualifies, and sells just like a founder would. And this interaction model combines both voice, video, and AI in an unfamiliar format. So it was really critical for our team to understand user expectations and true moments where the avatar can create value. As for our project goals, our team wanted to find out and understand how startups handle new leads for the company, what degree of avatar realism matters and why, what one job will deliver the fastest, clearest business impact, how do AI avatars affect user trust and credibility perception, and what problem or moment in the customer journey is best suited for an AI avatar to solve and why. And this is like our project timeline, but we're at week 2 and 3, so we've synthesized data and gathered our insights. So I want to talk about the competitor analysis we've done so far, or we did. And really with the competitor analysis, our goal was to identify market gaps and feature opportunities to help prioritize what to build and what to avoid. And from our competitor analysis, we noticed that there are 2 main direct competitors that My Worker had. The first direct competitor is 11x.ai. They are an AI-powered autonomous SDR platform, which has this digital sales rep named Alice that handles prospecting, messaging, follow-ups, and meeting bookings. And it's positioned as a hireable digital rep, which operates 24/7. And for the next one, Artisan AI, it's an AI-powered outbound sales platform, which has an AI business development rep named Ava that automates the entire demand generation process through multi-channel outreach and lead qualification. So before we went into the user interviews, we did a little bit of white paper research, and our team researched a total of 8 papers, which focus on topics like human versus AI roles in sales, and also the psychological and ethical implications of human-like AI. So the purpose of doing this white paper research was really to build an early understanding and uncover relevant problem spaces for a 0 to 1 AI product that has very few direct competitors. And this really helped us create informed questions before and during the process of conducting user interviews. So I'll pass it on to Santiago, who will talk about our user interview process.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Santiago. I'm the research lead for My Worker AI, and I'm going to go over the last half of this presentation. And so for our user interviews, we were able to successfully conduct 7 user interviews with participants in our ICP, from founders to people in the sales industry. And the purpose of these interviews was to help our team better understand founders' perspectives and how they handle attracting new leads. And then after conducting our primary and secondary research, from competitor analysis to white paper research to our interviews, we were able to map out and discover patterns and look for major insights on what problem we were going to solve. And we had 3 key findings. And the first one was that sales motivation shifts from emotional to utilitarian throughout the journey. The second one was that founders want AI to handle mechanics to amplify their authenticity, not replace their personal touch. And the last one was that users wanted AI to feel human aware, not human alike. And so to dive a bit deeper into these insights, for the first one was that they wanted warmth up front and speed later. Users were more motivated early in the sales journey and seeked warmth that suggested human sales agents were preferred. And for the second one, they wanted AI to handle mechanics to amplify their authenticity. So a quote from one of our interviewees was that there's a strong feeling that these tools fail to build a human connection. And they expressed that they wanted AI to handle research, follow-ups, and scheduling while still preserving that human element that builds trust. And the third one was that they wanted AI to feel human aware, not human alike. So another quote from an interviewee said that they don't want it to pretend it's a person, just make it socially intelligent. And users just want a natural conversation with AI, replicating the feeling of talking to another human, still knowing that it is an AI tool, along with avoiding hyper-realistic visuals. And the next section is going to be about our creation for our persona and our journey map. So starting out with the persona, her name is Jordan. She is a founder and CEO of a B2B SaaS company for logistics with a team size of 12 based in Austin, Texas. She wears multiple hats, and as multiple founders do, and she's great at closing deals when she's in the room, and also considers making a personal relationship. Her main motivations are that she wants to look and sell like a Series B2C company while being a lean startup, along with craving solutions that feel warm, sharp, and trustworthy like herself, along with creating a wow moment on her website. Her main frustrations are current chatbot leads that feel cold and low quality, and forms that get ignored with warm traffic, which bounces without engagement. And her main goals are just, she wants to increase qualified demo bookings without scaling headcount and making her website feel more alive. And next, onto the journey map, her scenario is that Jordan is looking for a way to grow her business and attract leads, but is still skeptical, highly skeptical about AI tools. She fears she will lose the authentic human-centric brand that is critical to her company's success. And some main expectations for her is that she wants to amplify her brand, trust AI through transparency and competence, and a frictionless experience from onboarding to booking. And at first, she's overwhelmed by the manual follow-ups and hears about AI tools from peers. And so she searches up tools and watches demos and explores the My Worker AI website. Some pain points is that she doesn't want a bot sounding solution, and she's still skeptical of AI. She's curious, but she's also cautious. So opportunities could be that to clarify that it's not a bot and to show human-centric language full of AI disclosure. Next, she realizes that she's dropping leads and wants to scale outreach. So she books demos and compares tools. A pain point is that she worries about time conflicts and lack of instant gratification. She's intrigued but anxious. Some opportunity could be 24/7 AI availability with a digital concierge with smart objection handling. For onboarding, she wants to test if AI can help with minimal risk involved, and she interacts with it, and she shares initial needs and tries basic outreach. But for some pain points, she's afraid AI might not be accurate. She's overwhelmed and uncertain. And so opportunity could be for guided onboarding, enable feedback loop, preview and edit tone of AI. Next would be results and notices positive replies, curious about what worked. She checks inbox and adjusts messaging. She's unsure if AI or timing drove the result as a pain point. She's cautiously optimistic. She showed what worked and why. The opportunity could be that she showed what worked and why. For retention, she sees potential in scaling more workflows. She expands on her features. Some pain points could be that some manual fixes still need to be fixed, and that fears misalignment as she scales. She's empowered but still alert. The opportunity could be to offer smart nudges and insights to refine ICP. And lastly is loyalty. She's happy with the results and wants to refer others. She shares feedbacks with her peers and founder groups as well. Some pain points could be that she won't refer if the brand trust is compromised or if the AI makes wrong decisions. So with the happy results, she's proud and vocal. And the opportunity could be brandable outcomes, founder-friendly referral program. And so lastly is our approach. And so before we conducted our research, we had an initial how might we statement. And we first brainstormed this one. How might we design and deploy a lifelike AI video sales agent that builds trust, enhances engagement, and feels contextually appropriate across My Worker AI's platforms? And after conducting our primary and secondary research, we then refined it to this one. How might we design a transparent AI solution that earns radical trust quickly by blending founder-level charisma, empathy, and human-aware intelligence to convert curious visitors into qualified leads? And now for next step, onto the ideation phase, we are going to do a brainstorm ideation workshop where we're going to do a crazy eights exercise and a round robin review to see where we're going to head and to build on each other's concepts. And from there, we're going to narrow down on some key concepts and create a high level flow that is going to help us set up for wireframing in week 5. Thank you for our time. And if you have any questions, we are open to hearing.
Very good. Great work. Jenny, I know you were typing the feedback, so but I also wanted to give you a chance to talk. So did you want to give feedback, or we could have someone else if you felt like a bit distracted?
Yeah, I can just rapid fire, and I can also send it up into the Slack channel. But honestly, I think this was really great. There's so much depth in this work. First of all, congratulations to the team. I think some of the feedback might be a little similar to the other presentations, as in just make sure that you have that balance between text and what you're reading out loud. Sometimes it is good to have a lot of text on the screen, but you can also fill in those gaps of knowledge while you speak, or you can even rely on visuals in certain areas. Also, I really like the fact that you have the persona up, but during the slide that you're sharing the persona, you kind of sit there a little bit and you're talking about every section. Maybe you can just have persona like 75% of the screen and then just pull out the key points. So it just helps the audience know what you're going to talk about, and you are able to like reaffirm like these are the main things that I wanted to call out. I love the transition from the persona to the journey map and just kind of using that same POV, so people are able to like really like hone in on this is what we're trying to do. But for the journey map, I think the same feedback as with the persona, like we read out I think like 5 or 6 of the 7 or 8 different stages. I think it might be great to really highlight like which main like either high priority areas or really big pain points to say like, hey, this is the journey map, but then, you know, awareness, this was a really big problem. Onboarding is lacking. So it's giving a high level walkthrough. And then if you have questions or you wanted to talk a little more about specifically like the results and retention, then you can say like, oh, this is where she was really conflicted, or this is where she was really confused, to drive that point home. But overall, this was a lot of detail. The fact that you were able to really condense it into this slide deck also was an accomplishment. So yeah, great work, team. Really, really enjoyed listening to all your work. Oh, and then the how might we statement. I really liked that. I liked how you were able to just show the before and after to show like, hey, we're actually thinking about those insights. We're trying to really drive in what we're trying to do rather than just make assumptions and try to see where it lands. Yeah, I'll also add more into Slack, but great work.
Very good, very good. And I wanted to actually just like, I almost had the exact feedback that Jenny had, and I was going to show you guys this example a little bit more in depth later. This is an example of a work I did at Amazon, and then you can see like it's the same idea. Like, so the actual journey map I did was very complex. Like, this is not the actual journey map I made, but you can see like when I'm actually presenting it, like I would actually carve everything out, and I would even like highlight a specific part. I'm not going to show the whole work, but it's like in the final version that I'm presenting, basically I'm only sharing like this part. Even the small text is going to get cut, right? Because no one's actually going to read it. So I think very good point. It's like you can make a journey map, and then when you're presenting, you don't actually have to present what you actually made. And both of you present really well, but I want to give, I think Lena presented first, right? So I wanted to give her like a special shout out. I think she was one of the best, most confident presenters of today. So really good work, extra good. Not only did she have a clear voice / good microphone, but she presented very good pacing. And I guess that's probably because you were controlling the slide yourself as well, right? So that could have been why too. Or was someone controlling the slide for you?
Yeah, it was Santiago.
Okay, yeah, you had good teamwork then, because she didn't have to say next slide at all. But okay, we'll share it to the last group. And then one point, as we bring up the last presentation, for Amy's team on Reshape, there was a particular slide I forgot to call out that was really, really well done. So they were the only group that mentioned the challenge. That is a very important slide because no one actually understands why your project is hard other than your team. So they mentioned that for their team, the product was already live and they only had enough resources to choose one direction, which is why there's stakes for their research. That is a really good slide. So make sure in your future, whatever you're presenting, especially for interviews, it's not too important if you're presenting to your founder, because the founder obviously knows this. But if you're presenting this in an interview, like definitely include that slide. That is a super good slide because people will be like, oh, that's why we should care about the work. Okay, we'll do the last team. Okay. And Namita, I'll let you comment on this because I know you haven't had a chance to share feedback yet, but we can start.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So my name is Shania. I am one of the team research leads along with Kaiko, who unfortunately would not be presenting. So I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of what we've learned, starting with the insights from our first 5 founders, following up with a competitive analysis, and then later ladders out to how all of this can create opportunities for Socialite. So just starting off with a quick introduction of what Socialite is. Socialite is really a 0 to 1 product. So it's an AI social media manager for beginning startups. Beginning startups that doesn't have enough funds to hire a social media intern manager to spot on like conversation, draft replies, and particularly grow their brand. So this brings us to our initial how might we statement, which is how might we effortlessly how might we make it effortless for early to mid-stage startups to manage their social media by turning overwhelming noise into real-time awareness of conversations, competitors, and trends, what matters the most. So really what we're trying to figure out is how do founders and CEOs manage their social medias, gather insights, data, and particularly know their opinions on AI. And from this research, we come up with this final statement, which is our final how might we come up with is how might we help early to mid-stage founders seamlessly surface high-value social conversations within their workflow and respond with trusted, personalized draft that turns engagement into measurable growth and community. And from there, I will present you some of the research findings that led us to this final framing. So before I get into our interview findings, I just want to state that we synthesized 3 insights from our interviews, which are from 5 founders or CEOs from various startups from various stages. So our first insight is from the interviews, we just found out that founders know social media matters, but without time or expertise, it's often the first thing that falls off their plate. From this, we just know that founders and CEOs, they want to engage, but they don't really have the time or expertise to do so. Really, they don't have the time to analyze data, draft out the perfect content, and that's typically the problem that they struggle, as told by one of our interviewees, Anna Huang, who is the founder and CEO of Scale Growth AI.
And how would you describe a typical week managing your social media presence?
We're not actually actively doing that. I think it's a matter of volume, right? I think what the bottleneck is how much time we have for this automation tool you can leverage, right? You can set up those automation, kind of takes those overwhelmingness off my plate. I think there's a tool that can help me do that, will be super beneficial.
Oh, I realized something. So from that, it just brings us to our second insight, which founders don't want to hand over total control to AI. They just want to learn from it. And really, they're not just looking for like generic AI replies. What they really want is a system that understands their tone, learn from their past decisions, and support them like a smart co-pilot. And from that, we get some an insight from Austin Nick Peel, who is the co-founder of Clarity, and the current stage of his company is a pre-seed, which he states.
Baseline is I would never publish anything that I hadn't fully vetted myself. I would kind of just like go straight from AI to post. So I think that's probably the only like real strong opinion I have on it.
And then lastly, we just get to our final insight, which is early startup founders care more about finding the right conversation rather than being mentioned. And what I mean by this is founders, what they really care more about is relevance. They want help with discovering conversations that really aligns with their audience, their product, or particularly their brand. And this is even so if their brand isn't mentioned at all. And so from that, we get our final quote from Ben Turtle, who is the founder and CEO of Lightning Rod Labs. This one is particularly, they're trying to build an AI that predicts weather.
It would really depend on the quality of the listening, right? So like, it's not that helpful if it just mentions when someone mentions our brand, because like we're really trying to drive awareness as an early stage startup. So it would be more like, can it find posts that are actually worth responding to? Likely from people who have no idea we exist.
So after all of our interviews, we did also a competitor analysis in which we analyzed 12 competitors in the social listening space, particularly Octolens. And with this, we got an overall insight, which is while many tools offer insights, only a few empowers users to act on them. And what I mean by that is that most platforms, they are more focused on listening and analyzing, but they barely go any further and actually create content based on the data they've created. And there are a couple of companies that does this, but what we're looking for is something that creates content for them or utilize the data that they gather to do so, like, for example, content generation. And we have a couple of quotes that support this, especially from our interviews, coming from Anna Huang, who is stating, like, I think it's a matter of volume. The bottleneck is how much time we have for this. And next, we have Ben from, again, one of our interviews, who says, it's not helpful if it's just mentioned our brand. We just want people who have no idea what we exist. And really, again, these founders, they don't have time to draft out the perfect content. They just need fast results and answers. So this goes back to so with the competitive analysis and our interviews, the gap became very clear. And it brought us back to our final framing of, again, as shown as the part of the presentation, how might we help early to mid-stage founders seamlessly surface high-value social conversation within their workflow and respond with trusted, personalized draft that turns engagement into measurable growth in communities. So how could we do that? These founders, they want to engage again, but with the current tools requiring too much effort, too much interpretation, too much time, they're very overwhelmed, very undersupported. So this is how Socialite can create that value. And from that, we propose a solution to our how might we statement of an AI co-pilot that could help discover strategic discoveries and discussions, draft them into contextualized replies, and then deliver this all into Slack, turning this engagement into effortless growth. And that's where we are from there. we've done the user research with the whole competitive analysis and the user interviews, and now we're at our ideation stage. So we're going to bring our final how might we statement and bring it to find out any solutions and ideas to it. So that is all. Thank you.
Good work, everyone. I know this is last team. Kathy and a lot of coaches have been giving async feedback in either the Slack or the Google chat. So before we wrap up, Namita and Victoria, I'll give you two a chance to share some thoughts.
Sure, I can start. Great presentation. Shania, you're a really strong presenter. You didn't use any filler words, which I'm trying to be like you. So very engaging presentation. I love how you didn't bury the lead and started off with the how might we statement in the beginning. And the statement itself was very well crafted. It was baked in with the user value and the user group. So that was great. And I like how you mapped the original how might we statement to the refined one right at the beginning. I like captions on the video, but I think it was hard to hear the actual interview videos. The audio was quiet. So I think having the direct quote on the screen too would have helped. So it's skimmable and you can follow along what the quote is while they're saying it. And because of that, it was also just hard to follow how the interview insight, the excerpt tied in with the major insight. And then something else, it would have been more engaging to have more supplemental visuals or even icons on this next step screen, more color on the screen, on the slides too. But in general, great presentation. Yeah, +1 to Leon. I feel like you didn't even use speaker notes. It was, it didn't feel like you were reading off the screen. You're a really strong presenter.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I was curious, did you use speaker notes?
I have speaker notes right there, but they're bullet points. So
Yeah,
I just
very good.
use it off my head now.
Okay, very, very good. I think someone raised their hand, so I'll let the last person share their thought, and then we can call it a wrap. Did someone raise their hand? Okay. Victoria, did you want to share?
Yeah, I was going to say, I like that there was a very strong train. I like the way that you were able to, I guess, storytell throughout your presentation, and that there was a strong logic to every point that you were making. And I guess similar feedback. I liked that. I actually liked that you were able to show your interviews and the separate clips. But I think it would also be good to put the actual quote that you're trying to highlight or something on the screen to make the connection a little bit stronger. But otherwise, I think it was a very well articulated presentation.
Yep, second that. Okay, so I know originally we were always very ambitious on the amount of content we plan to give. So I think it's probably not too realistic for everyone to hold their attention for another workshop. So what we'll most likely do is we'll just have this workshop on another day. I think every team already has a pretty good understanding of where we're going to go next. And every team, of course, is working on their different things a little bit. So this was the workshop. I know Hannah spent a lot of time preparing this for everyone, but we'll still have a chance to do this sometime midweek next week. But everyone's already spending a lot of time today, so definitely celebrate, enjoy. We don't have to do another workshop after this. So we'll just wrap it here today. And then there'll be a few things to catch up on in the Everyone channel. Make sure to check those and enjoy your Sunday, everyone. All right. And thank you all the coaches again. Definitely give them a huge shout out, especially your own coach. And coaches, definitely hype your own team up. Yes. All right.
Great job, everybody.
Exactly. Johnny put it well. Great job, everyone. See y'all.